From the global perspective, looking at the agenda you're pushing, let's come a bit regional here. From your footprint, I listened to you as well, and you were very strong to say, looking at it, your subsidiaries right now outside Kenya are now contribute almost half of the entire group deposits and assets and the likes. There's a lot of work going there, and we are seeing super growth from the Congo to everything else. There's something you're doing very right there. I just want you to paint a picture of when you look at your regional subsidiaries, what would be your comment on this?
As I said, it has been a journey.
Yeah.
The last 4 years, we have been rebuilding equity.
Okay.
We've said the structure, the governance structure that we had served us well. Mm-hmm. But we had outgrown it.
Yeah.
We are now a 2 trillion shillings organization. When you look at 2 trillion,
yeah,
that will be close to 12-13% of the GDP of this country.
Yeah.
It also means we are bigger than most of the GDP of some of the countries that we operate in.
Yeah.
So if that required us then to improve our governance capabilities. Mm-hmm. And we've been able to restructure ourselves completely.
Yeah.
And that we are now seeing the impact. Mm-hmm. And part of that impact is that the decision that has been made through the governance structures that maybe the best thing is to spread our impact and influence in the African continent. We're now in 7 countries as opposed to being in Kenya. Yeah. And that is how we have focused on regional approach. And there's also been a decision that banking is not enough. Yeah. We need to give integrated financial services. And that's how technology has come to be a big sector or a big focus for the group. That's how insurance has become a big focus, investment banking, because the communities require integrated financial services. Yeah. And that is how you now start seeing Kenya is, as we speak, less than 50% of the entire group. Wow. We have really become a regional African financial institution. Absolutely. We're no longer a bank. We are now a financial institution with insurance, banking, and technology alongside it. Yeah. So we are really becoming a solution that can have the desired impact because we are providing people with the choice.
You're right.
And we are providing people with a comprehensive, integrated solution.
Yeah, I love that. You know, which really I cannot leave you without talking about the diversification. One of the things, and I mean, most people have said it even around, is when you touch on health. And one of your biggest diversification has been on what you're doing in the health sector. Big impact both to the lives of Kenyans and even to your customers as well. I want you to paint a picture because Equity Afya has really done quite significant strides. What are you looking at and what has been the learning so far?
As a business, we have been very, very successful. And we have asked ourselves, how can we impact on society? Yeah. How can we give back? And we picked on 2 fronts. Continuing to de-risk and capacitate people to be better in agriculture, better in business, and everything else there. Yeah. But we said, what about that which we can give without wanting to make money? Yeah. To demonstrate the genuineness and sincerity of equity. And I'm glad we picked 2 areas, education and health. In education, we've been able to see 60,000 kids through a comprehensive scholarship for secondary education that provides everything for them, school fees, uniform, pocket money, fare to go to school, and health. Then we have transitioned those ones. Yeah. And out of the 60,000, we still have 19,000 in high school as we speak between Form 3 and Form 4. But we have 29,000 already in university and 11,000 waiting to join universities this year. The ones who transitioned last year. That then gives us 39,000 kids in our universities. And out of that, we have 1,100 in global universities, with Harvard having the highest number of 49 kids. and 245 in Ivy League schools. Wow. So we see that we're giving opportunities to the most gifted, giving them global exposure. But it's the circular way of doing things. The kids that we sponsor to do medicine through the university education program, we have looked at them and said, why don't you help us solve the problem of health? And we have created an Equity Afia franchise for them and said, here is the franchise. We'll fund each of you to set your own clinic. As we speak, we have 146 medical centers that are owned by those former beneficiaries of our scholarship programs. And I'm glad last year they saw 3.3 million patients. As we speak, they are seeing 160,000 patients per month. So you can see the momentum of what one would call circular economy, where you get the scholars now transform health, transform agriculture, transform hope-free business and entrepreneurship, and essentially transform the entire society through knowledge. But society will not transform unless productivity of the people is optimized. And you can't optimize the productivity of people unless you address their health. And that is why we have put a lot of focus on health. Our experience is 40% of our own defaults occurs when a health incident afflicts a family. So it's not just about, it's the devastating impact of a health incident. It looks like we are just one incident away from being bankrupt by health. So that's why we are focused on health.
And you're so right on that. But I have to end by asking you to comment on the Africa Recovery and Resilience Plan, because it has been such a great move. In fact, it has been described as the Marshall Plan for Africa. So I want to ask you how is Equity so far translating this into action, especially across the agriculture, manufacturing, trade finance. What would you comment on that?
It is true. Our African Recovery and Resilience Plan is a transformative development plan for Africa. Failure to plan is planning to fail. We felt we needed to have an integrated plan of transforming Africa, where all like-minded people can then play a role based on their capabilities, their competencies, to foster Africa to move forward. But we then looked at this plan and said, how can we make integrated such that it's not in silos? We're developing Africa as an integrated continent. And we said the biggest thing that Africa really needs is to transform its agriculture. And we said it's not increasing the added agriculture that is going to transform Africa. It's to increase the productivity of the agricultural sector. Our farmers earn an eighth or produce an eighth of what global standard is. If we increase productivity just 6 times, then we shall have transformed agriculture. It will become a high-paying sector. Then we said, if we transform agriculture, then the produce, the 8 times increase in produce, can't be for the family. It needs then to be created and processed to be taken to urban centers and for export. So agro-processing becomes a central. So we now are talking about farmers are transforming, manufacturers are transforming. And we said the most difficult thing to understand and ever comprehend is that we are endowed a lot with natural resources. We call them minerals, but we sell them as raw materials. I said, why can't we add value to them and build a base manufacturing where you increase value almost 1,000 times. And you can imagine if you increase the value of the produce almost 1,000 times, you increase taxes 1,000 times. Why? Because Africa needs to industrialize using clean energy without emissions. And we also need enough energy not to stop cutting down our forests. We must move from wood fossil fuels to clean energy devices. And that explains why we were showcasing the energy devices for households.
Absolutely.
And I'm glad that this last year alone, we were able to fund 446,000 households to transition in energy. Those are the small... but again, the capital of Africa is the small and medium enterprises.
You're right.
And I'm glad that recently there was a publication of the banks in Kenya that are financing SMEs. And I'm sure people saw that more than 50% of all SMEs in Kenya are funded by Equity Group.
We chose, yes, absolutely.
72% of our lending to be micro, small, and medium enterprise. That is the face of Africa.
Commendable.
That is the African entrepreneur. That is African enterprises. And we want to ensure that they populate our ecosystems, our value chains, so that wealth is created and retained on the African continent. Lastly, is we have a mean... a population whose mean age is 18 years. That is a digital native population. And we don't want to do things the old way. We want to use technology so that our children get excited. And we leapfrog and we get ahead of the world because we have no legacy systems to change. We're just investing in technologies of the future, particularly generative AI. Data, big data analysis, computing capabilities, and anything that is embedded in the fourth industrial technologies.
Wow. Dr. I was about to ask you to give me a conclusion, but actually I felt like you did it because of what we're looking forward to.
Thank you.
So next year, we shall be sitting probably in another beautiful place as well, and we shall continue on with this conversation.
Oh, yes, to unveil greater impact.
Greater impact.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you very much.
There you have it, Dr. James Mwangi. Construction is over. It's now about growth and impact. And we can't wait for this, giving us a global overview, regional overview as well, and even right here locally, what can be done. And really congratulations to them. Look at what they are doing by the numbers. Research has said it all, supporting SMEs, MSMEs in this country. And that's exactly what is moving our economy. And we need more of that. Thank you so much for your time. I'll leave you now with the markets.